Hello, today we are going to be learning how to we're just reviewing all the topics. This is part 2. These are the content that we're going to be reviewing: the substitution, to solving equations, the elimination, finding slope, finding the y-intercept, the slope-intercept form, and point-slope form. First, we're going to be reviewing substitution. These are the steps. First, we have to solve one of the equations. You can choose whichever one. And then in the other equation, you use the variable. You substitute the equation you solved into that variable and then solve it back for the first variable that you didn't solve for in the beginning. So this is the one example we will be doing. So in this equation, it's already solved as one of the variables onto one side. If it was like negative 6x plus y equals 11, then you will just transpose your negative 6 to the other side, and it will turn to y equals 6x minus 11, which is the same as this. Anyways, so we're going to be substituting this equation into this equation. We do that by writing 2x minus 3, and because this is y equals 2, we would put this into y in parentheses. That's supposed to be an equal. There's supposed to be an equal there, and it's negative 7. Sorry. Next, you would get rid of the parentheses by multiplying negative 3 to every single term. So we're going to bring our negative 2x down, and negative 3 times 6 will equal to negative 18x. And then negative 3 times negative 11 will turn to a positive 33, and it will equal to negative 7. Now we are combining like terms, which is our negative 2x and our negative 18x, which will give us negative 20x. And we bring everything down. And then we get rid of 33 to get negative 20x alone. On both sides. And negative 20 will be moved down. And now combining these, negative 33 and negative 7, it will turn into negative 40. And then we divide negative 20 on both sides to get x alone. And negative 40 divided by negative 20 will equal to 2. And this is our x value, but we still need to find our y value. So we will be using this, but either will work. This first equation will just make it easier, since y already equals to something and we need to find y anyways. So we will substitute our x into this x that's already in the problem. So 6 times 2, negative 11. 6 times 2 equal to 12. Take away 11. Y will equal to 1. And now we put it into our coordinate form, which would be x and y. So x would go first, which is our 2, and then y will go next, which is our 1. And this would be our coordinates, and that's our final answer. Now try these out yourselves. All of these already have variables alone, so you don't need to transpose anything to the other side. We still would get your variables alone, but these should be easy enough. Review it. If you need extra review, you can go to our previous videos on substitution and elimination.
Okay, so now that you learn how to do substitution, we're going to learn how to do elimination. So you want to make sure the leading coefficient is the same as one of the variables, and then you just subtract or cancel them out. So you're left with one variable and a constant, and then you will solve it either for y or for x, whichever one is easier. It depends on the equation. And then you just substitute that value you found out in either equation 1 or 2, and that's how you get your x value. So let's do a practice problem. So let's just reorganize this so it's easier to see. So you have 6 equals 6x plus 6y. And we'll just align them up. So we'll move the 14 and move the negative 14y over. So it'll be plus 14y on both sides, and then subtract negative 14 on both sides. So we'll have negative 14 here. And then since you add the negative 14y on the other side, it'll be positive 14. But just to align it to make it easier, let's bring down the 18x plus 14y so it's easier to see. So now we want to get rid of one of the variables so we can solve for the other. So I already see a common multiple here. So we would multiply this by negative 3. So negative 3 times positive 6 would be negative 18, so you can cancel that out. But whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So we're going to do it on both sides. So you would get negative 3 times positive 6 is negative 18. Okay, sorry about that. Equals negative 3 times positive 6, negative 18x. Same here, negative 3 times positive 6, negative 18y. And then you just solve it as it is. So negative 14 minus negative 18. You just bring the negative sign over, and then you just add it as usual. So it'll be 32, negative 32. And then positive 18x minus 18x is 0, so you cancel that out. And then you do this accordingly. So 14y minus 18y is negative 4y. And in order to get y by itself, you divide both sides by 4, negative 4. You would get y equals to 8. Now I'm going to just clear the work. So now that we have one of the variables, we can use this variable to plug into either equation. So just for this, I'm going to use the first equation. So 6 equals 6x plus 6. Instead of y, we're going to substitute the 8. So we'll have 6 equals 6x plus 6 times 8 will give you 48. Subtract 48 on both sides. That would give you 6x is equal to negative 42. In order to get x by itself, you would divide 6 by both sides. So you would get x is equal to negative 7. And in order to write into a point coordinate form, you would put the x value first, comma, the y value. So your final answer would be negative 7, comma 8. So you can use these to practice on your own. Just pause the video. You can also pause at any point in time when I was doing the examples, so you can see from each step one by one in order to do these examples. Next, we have Caitlin.
And now we are going to relearn how to find slope. So this is the formula into finding slope, m would equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, rise over run, mainly used in graph to find our points. Anyways, so for our steps would be to find 2 points anywhere on the line, count the rise and the run, determine the run by counting left to right units, and then from there you simplify it if it's a fraction. Next. And now these are our our one example. Why is there a 3? Anyways.
I can't get rid of it, I'm sorry.
It's all right. So first we use our formula. So m equals, I'm just going to rewrite it, m equals y2 minus y1 over m2, not m2, x2 minus x1. So first so our top part, we're going to be using these two numbers. So 15 take away negative 10. You always need to put into parentheses if it's a negative number. Our second number is negative. And now we're going to use these two numbers on the bottom, which would be negative 15 minus 6. 15 take away negative 10. Just remember there's like an invisible one here. So yeah. Anyways, these two would equal, this part will equal to 25, and this part would equal to negative 21. And you can't simplify this further, so this would just be a negative fraction. This would just be a negative fraction, and this would be our m value. So this is our slope. Now, give it a try. Yeah. Now we're gonna learn how to find our b in our y equals mx plus b by finding the y-intercept.
So now that we learned how to find the slope, otherwise known as m, we're going to substitute it into the equation y equals mx plus b and figure out the rest. So here, m is 10, so that's our slope. So we can let's just write the equation out. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals 10x plus b. So over here, they already give us a coordinate. So 18 is y, we'll plug that in as y, equals 10x, 10x. So x is 6 as they gave us, so we'll substitute x for 6 plus b. So we'll just multiply this out. So 18 equals 60 plus b. So in order to get b by itself, we would subtract 60 on both sides. So we'll have b equals negative 42. So we already found our b, so let's rewrite it. So y equals 10x minus 42. So if they give us more points in the graph, we can just substitute the x and y value to check it. Here are practice questions. You can look back at the example video and practice on yourself. And you can also pause this, write it here, write on a piece of paper. Next, we'll do slope intercept with Caitlin.
Okay, so slope-intercept form, you have to find the slope and then choose one set of the coordinate points to substitute into y equals mx plus b, substitute the slope you found into the formula, solve for b to get it alone, and then replace your m and b into y equals mx plus b when you found both of the values. Next. So we learned how to find slope before, but so we're just gonna do the same. We have to find our slope, which is our m value in y equals mx plus b. So how you would do that first is we're going to use these 2 points. These 2 values, our y values. So it would be 4, take away 2, and then we're going to put these 2 values, 3 take away 2. This will equal to 2 over 1, but this can be simplified to just 2 because 2 divided by 1 equals 2. So this is our m value, also known as our slope. And now we have to find our b, because that's the one thing that's missing. And since we found our slope, we can just take one of these coordinate points and substitute it into our y equals mx plus b formula. So I'm just going to use this one. So y is our 4, and our slope, and then our x is 3, and then plus b. So 2 times 3 equals 6. Bring everything down. We transpose our 6 to the other side by taking away 6 on 6 and taking away 6 with the 4. That will give us -2 equals b. So that is our b value, also known as our y-intercept. Our y-intercept. And now we substitute our b and our m to get our final formula, which would be 2x plus, not plus, -2, because this is a negative. And this would be our final answer. Now this is your turn to find your y equals mx plus b. Now we are going to move on to doing point slope form.
Okay, so now that you figured that out, we're going to do point slope form. So you want to make sure you have your slope and you have your set of coordinates. And then over here, we need to know this equation, and we just plug it in. So let's just do the problem. Okay, so first we have to find the slope. So as we did before, y equals mx plus b. Oh, sorry. It's rise over run. So rise is our y-axis, run is our x-axis. So 13 minus 5 over 4 minus 2. This will give us 6. Oh, not 6. This will give us 8. This will give us 2. We divide that and that gives us 4. So this is your m, your slope. And then let's rewrite that equation we saw previously. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So over here, this was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So over here, we just plug it in the same values. So our y1 was 5. So y minus 5 equals m. Our m was 4, so let's just plug that in. X, our x1 was 2, so we'll just subtract 2. And then we'll just solve it as it is. So we'll distribute the 4 first. So y minus 5. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Now you bring over the negative 5 over by adding 5. So y equals 4x. Negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. So this is it, but you want to substitute your x into this. So we'll have, we'll write it here, y equals 4. And then we'll just substitute the x. So let's substitute 2 in it. That's x minus 3. We'll solve it out. Y equals 4 times 2 is 8 minus 3. Y equals 5. Over here should say x equals 2. So it's just asking for the order. So if it was 24, let's say, then we will plug in that 24 here. If it was 12, we will plug in that 12 here. So this was just a base into it. So if they give you only an x coordinate, an x value, then you just plug in x value and you can find a y value. Same if it was opposite. If they give you only a y coordinate, then you just put in the y and then you can find the x. Okay, you can try these yourselves. I'll write some for you. So let's pretend this one's x equals 27, x equals 19, x equals 30, x equals 5, x equals 23, and then x equals 20. Okay, so you can pause the video and try these on your own. You can message us at any time via our emails, which is posted on the Google Classroom. You can also make suggestions if you want answer keys or you want more videos to help you visualize it better. And that's all for today. So we did a review of the topics. The topics that we reviewed were the point slope form steps, slope intercept form steps, finding y-intercept, finding slope, elimination, and substitution. So that's all for today's class, and we hope you have a good weekend. And next week, we're only going to be meeting on Monday and Wednesday because on Friday is your Thanksgiving break. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye.